Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets on Tuesday nights. Last week, most of the party had gathered, and we carried on through Vendar, working on his nitroglycerin, and making that into TNT. As this process, he and Jebble and Visandrius had worked out, is his to do with as he sees fit. It took many hours, as it would. These titrations are time and energy intensive, but he had command of all the resources he needed within the magnificent mansion, and quite a lot of time and space to do it while the party was figuring their stuff out. As the group members began to trickle back into the mansion, those that chose to, in the knowledge that the mansion would disappear very shortly after a long rest would be completed, he was rejoined by Jebble, who helped him to complete, 15 sticks of dynamite? Some absolutely absurd number.
Yeah, 15, so now I got 17 sticks.
So it was a very productive evening for him. Yukikaze, being the only other person to directly return to the mansion at that time, was unfortunately assaulted by the odors of this process, and sought the refuge of the baths in the upstairs with a fistful of incense. Laromendis finished his polite conversation with Ruby, and returned upstairs to find just Raiken in Tatsuya's room. He was sat upon the bed, conversing with the pendant that contains Tatsuya's soul, though Laromendis himself could hear no responses. He warned Raiken about speaking out loud to his brother in the presence of people who think the man is elsewhere and very certainly not dead. Raiken, for his part, had an interesting conversation with the spirit of his brother. They caught up, they ribbed one another. There was, Tatsuya had many questions about why he'd accepted this curio containing his soul, and why he hadn't simply discarded it in disgust with Tatsuya's actions, to which Raiken professed that they're family, and they'll always be family, and in spite of his mistakes, he loves his brother, and he's sure to punish him for those mistakes later, but he has to be around for that to happen. In the meantime, Lia had gone off to solidify bonds and improve, do more training with the new members of the Black Rose, as Elisa wasn't there for the session. Cyrus disappeared again. I think it happened off screen. The party retired for the night. Everyone was given the benefits of a long rest. And upon waking the next day, several people decided to head back out to continue the training of the army, including Saltharis and the Simulacra, while Laromendis set about to cast his historical lens in Tatsuya's room to learn of the documents that were destroyed, and Jebble recalled that he is now a very powerful druid, and has the time and ability to pursue an old goal of his, which was to try to help the former member of the party, Bruenor, who was lost the day he joined. I know that Raiken is going with him, and no one else is. So, forgive me, I will need a reminder of what others were doing, but I think that can wait until after I deal with the scene with Jebble, if that's alright. In the absence of any disagreement on that end, objections, I'll begin with Jebble and Raiken. You two have headed out from the World Over Inn and found nearby a tree, through which, Jebble, you had cast transit via plants to take yourself and Raiken back to a town that hasn't been visited in literal months at this point. Brathen, a town on the border between Thanandir and Shirkawa. Brathen, a town that the party had come to after dealing with the necromancer who charged an army of undead across Aspara, after losing members of the Sons of the Imminent Dawn, after meeting Seltharis for the first time and resurrecting her after she had been slain by that same necromancer. Brathen, a town famous only for its production of syrup, a sugary product of tree sap, and later to become famous for its monstrous overlord, or underlord, as may be more accurate, as the party realized belatedly that all of the townsfolk there were under the thrall of an aberration known as a beholder. And it was this beholder, in trying to rid the town of this beholder, that the group's former fighter, Bruenor, fell, was turned to stone by its petrification beam, and was subsequently left behind in the lair, which was collapsed by an earth elemental. The earth elemental having been convinced by Yukikaze to save those living members of the party in exchange for the axe of the dwarvish lords, which had been carried by Bruenor, which had been used by Bruenor to enthrall the earth elemental. This was a small fishing town that seemed to be its primary source of food and economy. They had stables. It was a medium-sized town, a couple of dozen houses there, families small usually, a few children and animals. None that were visible when the party first arrived, as they later learned that a unicorn had absconded with the children to protect them from the designs of the beholder. Returned to the town by that unicorn once the party had driven off the beholder. This town on a river in the woods is what you return to, Jebble. And as you step forth from the twisting roots and spreading bark of this tree, as the tree, cracking and moaning, regains its shape behind the two of you, you step out, and I had said that it's that way. It was you're on the island. I think I had said it was 8 hours ahead, and it's the morning. So that puts us at 4 p.m. On a summery day. Quite warm, a bit humid. As wind blows through the trees, you can hear the shouting of voices, children, adults, jovial, playing, calling out about foodstuffs, clothing stuffs that they are exchanging or have for one another. These are the sounds that come to you as you step out of this tree and onto the path leading southward, away from Brathen toward the border with Shirkawa. You can easily see the wooden structures of the town, not far off from where you are, but just far off enough that no one sees you as you step out. What would you like to do first?
Well, if I recall correctly, I remember it was beneath the mayor's house?
Correct. The mayor had a mansion, and you found a tunnel under his desk in his office that led to a great, carved-out underground space. Large enough that the beholder you were facing could stay out of range of most people's dark vision, and had to be fooled into coming closer when, I believe it was Laromendis who prostrated himself before it in supplication.
I think it was also, like, the area underneath the mayor was, like, these perfect, like, spheres.
Yes, that is correct. Perfectly smooth, cut away with the disintegration ray of the beholder.
And made it difficult to escape.
It made it near impossible to escape, especially since I had counted the lengths of your rope and told you where they ended, and people had left that last rope into the main great chamber dangling halfway up the wall, where the only one who could reach it was Rowan, because of his ability to shadow step. So, you had effectively trapped yourself in that room even before the fight began.
Yep, real smart.
Hey, Laromendis had Dimension Door. Like, he was getting out of there.
It's true. He did get out of there with Lia. Wonderful.
They didn't call it like Escape Plan Alpha or something.
It was Escape Plan Delta, which was get out with the nearest person with a powerful magical item.
You mean with the nearest person with the most life ahead of them, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
No, because at one point he escape plan Delta with Raiken, so that's not true.
That was a cloud kill, I believe. Any event. So, yes, it was beneath the mayor's mansion. Do you begin to approach the town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the only thing is, I know that, what's his face? Bruenor knew where this place was, because that's where he was, but Jebble arrived after everyone else had left.
Yeah.
And I recall there was a giant hole in the ground where our mayor's house used to be from the Beholder's escape.
I mean, Raiken was there. I feel like he would know where the mayor's house was, but...
It's true. I believe that you had found them nearish to the mayor's house anyway, because you came up shortly after they escaped. It's also not a large town, and the mayor's house had been the largest single building. So, I'm confident that even Jebble could find it. Now then, as you begin to head up this pathway, away from the tree out from which you stepped toward the town, you are going to hear a voice. You're going to hear the wind blowing through trees in a very directed manner. Does either of you speak Sylvan?
Yeah.
Yes. Then you will understand the words spoken to you.
Raiken won't.
No. Does Raiken speak Druidic?
No.
You're fucked.
Fuck!
Yep. Oh, the new character.
It's a good thing we're getting Bruenor back.
Killed by language.
You hear this directed voice in Sylvan speaking to you, the two of you, but only Jebble understands. This voice comes from behind you, and you turn to find that the tree out from which you had stepped is beginning to pull itself up by its roots and twist toward you. You see the bark of the upper limbs of it beginning to shift and flow as these two glowing emeralds sprout from the layers of wood. And these form a sort of eyes as the tree curves its trunk to look down upon you. As it says, "Ho there, traveler. State your business, please."
We're here to raise the dead.
Yeah. I'm just here to unpetrify someone who was petrified. What was it, like 2 months ago?
Yeah, something like nearish to that.
Yeah.
You know what?
So that his body may, if he's dead, then at least his body may return to the earth naturally.
And since Cyrus wants to joke here, as you're stating this, you're going to hear a rumbling beneath you, and the ground is going to shake very slightly beneath your feet, and a small mound of dirt is going to push up and then part as a wooden box is thrust up vertically next to you. It is anthroform, and slowly the lid, hinged as it is, swings open, and you see Cyrus, way too small for this coffin, inside with his arms folded over his chest, as he chirps, "We're here to raise the dead," with his eyes closed. Before the coffin disintegrates around him, and he opens his eyes and stands there looking vacant for a moment, and then you're able to take control of your character, Cyrus. You are in this place, you don't recognize necessarily. It's a forest, not unlike the forest in Shirakawa that you come from. It even has some very similar smells. You wonder if you're in Shirakawa.
How nice of you to join us, Cyrus.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Where did I join exactly? Doesn't look like the island or a wintry wasteland.
This is Brathen.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Well,
Better question. What are we doing here?
we lost a party member here, and Jebble is wanting to try to either bring him back to life, or if we can't do so, then at least let him return to the earth.
He was petrified, apparently.
Yes, by a
So at
beholder.
the very least, we can get his body back.
Alrighty. Do we have a face? That's a new one.
The tree is going to make some very confused, shifty, groany wooden noises. Jebble, you are going to understand, as it seems incredibly concerned, saying, "You seem to be a druid. I do not expect that you will be raising the dead. Curing petrification is quite acceptable. What is he?"
Pointing at Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go. He's a halfling. He was just cursed with some strange fey magic.
Ah.
We don't fully understand.
Do be cautious, then. I guard this forest. You may call me Asparel.
Have we met? Because I remember I met two.
You did. You've met Asparel.
Yeah.
They gave the locket, right?
Yeah, the
friend of trees.
This is the thing that lets me speak Sylvan.
Do you wear it on you prominently?
It might be under my armor, like, but I'm wearing it is being worn. I could pull the locket out or the thing out.
Yeah.
From underneath the armor and go, yes, I remember you.
Ah. He is going to... One of his larger limbs is going to reach down, its branches seeming to lengthen and grow towards you, and kind of cup the pendant dangling from your fist. And there's going to be this long drawn-out of breath as it says, "We have met. You are Jebble."
That's me.
It is good to see you again, Sir Druid. I did not recognize your new magic.
No, a lot has happened.
Welcome back to my forest. I am sorry that Bariel cannot be here to meet with you as well. He had business elsewhere in the forest today.
He's doing well, I assume.
We are doing as well as can be done, given the state of the world. This forest is not exempt from the dangers of your worms.
When we traveled to that place and met the dragon in the tomb...
Yes.
We met a wood elemental there.
Yes, we met two, Fergus and Birchley.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They were in another country.
Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly where we traveled to.
Sylvanas. The forest of Bala in Sylvanas.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine.
This is...
Just making sure it wasn't...
This is the North River in Thanandir. It's only north for Shirkawa, but that doesn't change the name. You might remember the water elemental you met here as well, the Lady of the North River, who tried to sink your boat.
Yep.
She did not like you guys.
Yeah, who would?
Good question. It's seeing little else to discuss, merely wanting to understand who had penetrated the forest. Asprel is going to give what accounts for a nod among his people and say, "Go in peace, Druid Jebble. Carry out your mission. I will see to the continued protection of this place."
Joey will just nod. Like, bow, nod.
The tree is going to move back to where you stepped forth from it and forcibly drive its root feet back into the ground, the rest of it resuming the shape of a tree as opposed to an elemental.
And I'll turn to my companions. Well, let's get this done then.
Alright.
Does Cyrus even know what this is?
Unpetrifying a little friend? that seems to be the extent of what I know.
I'm trying to figure out
Yeah,
how you know
was
it. I think it was
speaking in
only said
Sylvan.
in your
We
presence.
told him.
He said that we're here to unpetrify someone. I guess he was saying it in
That's my problem. He said it in Sylvan.
Yeah, trying to keep straight what was said in what language. I guess it's confusing me.
Raiken said stuff, though. He was explaining it.
Very well, then.
You had said we had lost a friend here. I just don't remember who said what we were actually
He said,
doing.
yeah, Raiken said that they lost a party member, and they were going... Jebble wanted to essentially unpetrify him to either try to bring him back to life or at least lay him rest in the ground, unpetrified.
Alrighty. Now I know what this is, or at least now I know that I know.
Alright, so you begin heading toward the buildings again.
Yes.
Yep.
Very well. The road opens up to the town. There is a wooden fence around the perimeter separating the town's roads and buildings from the surrounding forest, and an archway over its main access point next to the road, from which swings a wooden sign painted in green with the word Brathen, Town of Syrup. What you hear as you begin walking through this archway and up its main street is several voices from nearby buildings calling to each other, seeming to be talking about food and recent weather, conversation between neighbors. But there is a din as a background to this conversation. You can hear other voices calling out about moving things and getting horses, and you can hear the distant clanging of metal on stone. Eventually, as you begin heading up this road, a person will step out onto a wooden porch of their wooden house and spot these strangers in their midst and wave, smiling, a young woman. And she says, "Hello, strangers, travelers. Are you looking for an inn? Do you need food or water or other provisions for your travels? Brathen's got anything you might need."
We're good for the moment. Thank you very much.
"Oh. Are you here to see anything quite important? People don't usually stop off here except for the syrup or the stone."
I suppose technically we're here
We're
for
here
stone.
for stone. Gang.
"Oh. Well, if you're looking to buy, you can meet with the foreman of the quarry just 2 streets over that way," and she points in a direction to the northeast. "You'll be looking for a dwarf there. Answers to Gerdel."
Before looking forward to some answer to much of anything.
She's just going to
Okay.
blink at that response.
If she's not particularly close, she might not have heard it. He's not like being super quiet, but he's not like purposely making it loud enough for her to hear either.
Uh,
Though I actually don't know if I know if it's a dwarf or not. I just heard friend, so
hmm.
eh. Oh well.
We were here a couple months ago. Is the mayor's house, has that been rebuilt?
She's going to look a little puzzled, seeming to kind of take in your features a little more closely, trying to see if she can place you. She's going to say, "Well, yes, the mayor's house reconstruction has completed, though its location has changed. Can't really rebuild it over the quarry. Wouldn't be practical."
Guess that's the quarry now. Makes sense. God, nice and started for him.
Okay. Double time.
So I guess we are gonna go to that quarry. Yeah.
So you begin speeding away from her.
Thank you for pointing us in the right direction.
All right,
you,
take
bye-bye.
care. Remember that if you need food or lodging, the White Rose Inn is the... Bye. You begin moving away quickly in the direction she indicated, the quarry. The sound, the din of metal tools on stone grows louder and louder. Buildings part around you as you move from small. Like I said, it's a relatively medium-sized town. There isn't a lot here, but the buildings are close enough that they do form streets and alleyways. Not paved by any means, but beaten into the dirt or even covered in gravels. And it is as you pass between these two smaller buildings that appear to be homes, private family homes, you're going to come out into what seems to be a square of sorts. You can see that there are lamp posts plowed into the ground with glass housings around oil lamps that are not lit yet, as it's still mid-afternoon. But there seems to be a bit of a crossroads here, and you can see, catty-cornered to where you are, there is a large opening in the ground with striations of stone visible to you as you approach this deep square-cut hole. And before this hole, rising up 10 feet or so, on a plinth of granite, is a statue of a man. This man is a dwarf. Raiken, you recognize this dwarf.
Oh my god, is this Cyrus' fancy last name?
No, it's Bruenor. You recognize Bruenor in the clothing and armor that you last saw him in before he was petrified by the Beholder. Or at least you recognize a statue of him.
Oh, okay, it's a statue. Okay,
The statue is a dwarf.
I didn't catch that part. Okay. Oh my god, Bruenor! They apparently uncovered him, and now they have him as a statue in the quarry.
You can see
Eh?
a dozen or so people moving up and down ramps and scaffolding in and out of the quarry, directing horses, people driving horses, to move them into position to receive slabs of stone that are being rolled up these ramps on logs. And you can see a dwarf standing at the edge with a clipboard in hand, shouting to people that are out of your line of sight and directing them. He stands a bit further beyond this statue of Bruenor. There isn't much in your way, so you quickly cross the square, approaching the statue of Bruenor. Upon the plinth, you see that there is an engraved placard. Brathen. And the placard reads in common, all capital letters, Hero. Beneath it, still in common, says, "This man gave his life to protect the families of Brathen from the evil monster that would devour them. May we always remember his courage and selflessness." And gives a date.
Well, that's nice.
A date a bit over a month ago.
Well, now I'm confused.
Looking upon...
You said it was 2 months ago.
They probably didn't uncover him until later. Plus, they had to kind of get rid of the side effects of the Beholder taking over their minds, kind of.
Is there any way to examine it and tell whether it's an actual statue?
Yep.
Or
I imagine detect magic would do the trick.
Roll investigation.
yeah, that's not going to uncover much. That's a 5.
5. Well, with a 5, what you can tell is that either this statue was poorly crafted or somebody purposefully damaged it and it was repaired. You can see many places on it where a form of concrete or cement was used to reattach broken chips and chunks and limbs.
Missing a few pieces, huh?
It looks relatively complete. All the major portions of the person are there, but they've been reconnected with the substrate.
I mean,
That's gonna hurt.
it's kind of expected. He was underground. Stuff falling, rock and stone falling on him, along with the fact that there was an earth elemental that kind of brought him down into the earth, I think, at the same time. Or no, he helped us escape, so I guess he just let it fall, all the rock fall on him.
I want you to roll
So-
history. Raiken.
History. That was not good. That was a 9.
You guys. With a 9, you have the barest recollection that this earth elemental seemed very begrudging in its helping of the party.
Yeah. Do I remember that it was Yukikaze that essentially turned him to help us out?
Yes. You remember that it was Yukikaze who could speak Terran, and had a conversation after which this earth elemental that was already attacking the party stopped attacking the party, scooped up a person in each arm, and flowed out of the hole, depositing them on the surface, then coming back and doing it again until everybody except Bruenor was out. And then after that, the place collapsed.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Earth Elemental, whatever Yukikaze told him, told the Earth Elemental, it saved us, but left Bruenor down there.
Well, would having all the pieces help?
Are you going? Are we? I don't know if there's any way we can find all of the pieces.
Didn't have to find all the pieces of the last statue I fixed.
What shall you do?
I am double checking how long this process takes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Then give it a shot. Don't really see why not.
Okay. You begin using the sword's ability.
Well, I will ask first. We are certain we're, depetrifying and resurrecting him, correct? Or at least depetrifying?
Well, I'd like to make sure that... Let's just be certain that this is him, and not just a crude statue that they made. Most likely it is him, but...
Alright, then let's do that first, just in case, since I have to wait an extra hour if I try and fix the wrong statue.
Okay.
I was going to ask someone just where the statue came from. Who's going to find someone
Oh.
and then question them.
Okay. Well, you're in luck, because I was going to have this guy coming over anyway. So, as you are pondering this, deciding what you want to do, and figuring out who to ask and who to talk to, all that, you are going to hear a dwarven voice call out to you as a man approaches you. It is the man with the clipboard who you saw calling orders into the quarry. And he's going to call out and say, "Ah, travelers! You're probably looking for me. You were told to find a dwarf. I know the statue cuts a striking image, but I'm the one who makes the deals." And he's going to walk up to you and hold out a large, rough, calloused hand, saying, "I'm Foreman Gerdell."
I'll take his hand.
He squeezes your hand tightly. It actually hurts, and he's going to shake it vigorously. So, he's going to, after releasing your hand, not having gotten a name, he's going to shake each of the other people's hands there and then look back to you since you went first. He's going to say, "How much stone are you buying?"
No.
Are you...
I have a question.
About the quality of our stone.
And I point up towards the statue. About him.
He's going to look over his shoulder. Well, all right. Him, he was found in the quarry.
Aha, okay.
Aha, okay. Made from the
He's
stones of the
a-
quarry. The artist cobbled that together out of recollection from one of the adventurers who drove off the monster. He kind of taps the top of the plinth with his large hand. Says so right on the plaque here.
And nobody chiseled that.
Nobody chiseled the plaque? I watched him chisel the plaque.
The statue.
That's odd. I definitely watched him assembling it.
That's the actual person.
He's going to kind of turn fully toward the statue, looking up at it, and he's going to, rub his brow with his entire hand. Say, "An actual person. What makes you say that, stranger? Why are you sure?"
Because I was there when he was petrified.
There's going to be this, dawning expression crossing this man's features. Says, You're one of them. You're one of the people traveling who with the monster, and you're them."
Yes, I was part of the group that drove off the monster.
He's going to just shuffle up and, interrupting you, grab your hand and begin shaking it again. "Well, thank you for saving my town, sir."
You're very welcome.
So,
But
if that's actually him and not a statue, then, well, what can I help you? I mean, are you here to pay your respects, then?
I'm here
Kind
to see
of.
if I can unpetrify him.
Oh.
Consequences might be good, might not be, but I think either way, probably better than being a statue.
Huh. Well, can you give me a moment to go fetch the artist before you do that? He might need something. We'll want, it's just wait here a few minutes. Is that alright? Don't do anything till I come back, please.
I don't mind waiting. I just kind of look to the other two.
No, that's fine.
Not a problem.
Okay. He's going to, quickly jog back toward the quarry, call somebody over, hand them his clipboard, and then you're going to see him dash off amongst the buildings, disappearing from sight. About 5 minutes later, he is going to return with 2 people in tow. A wood elf with light brown hair flowing down their back, and a young woman, human, with pale skin and green eyes. The woman, as she seems to be, listening to something that the foreman is saying, then she looks up toward the statue, and she seems to spot you 3, and there's this moment of trepidation on her face, before her eyes lock onto Raiken, and she's going to quicken her pace, leaving the other two behind. And she's going to, a bit winded, stop before you and say, it's you, you're the Paladin of Cord.
Ah, yes. I am a Paladin of Cord, actually the champion of Cord these days.
No. I mean, congratulations on all that. I mean, you're the Paladin of Cord. I'm Rose. You helped my family get here when we were traveling on the road.
Ah, Rose, yes.
Yes.
I remember.
We were hoping to move into town. There were houses available. We didn't know why at the time.
Yes. It was quite an interesting time back then, but I'm glad to see that you're okay and things are doing well here in the town. How have you been?
Well, the town's flourishing. We had no idea that there was such a terrifying beast right beneath their feet. None of them knew. It's been difficult. But it's getting better. It's amazing to see you again. I thanked you at the time, but I never thought I would see any of you again. Hello, you two? She says to the people she doesn't recognize. I'm Rose.
So, I'm Cyrus. The mute here is Jebble.
Yes, these are two members that joined the group later. Jebble actually joined my group here.
Oh.
We met after we drove the monster off.
I got the children back.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful. My family and I, we had taken to hiding in the home that we'd been given, by the mayor. You see, you might remember that right before all that unpleasantness began, we were in to see the mayor before you.
Yes, I apologize. We were not aware.
I understand.
Of what was happening.
I'm really sorry, actually. I shouldn't put all that on you. I'm certain that as an adventurer and everything that's happening in the world, you've had much more important things to think about than that day. But it meant everything to us, so thank you.
Well, we lost a party member that day, so it still stings, and it's still a very important part of our lives.
I know. I'm actually the one who identified him. They were clearing the rubble out, thinking to rebuild the mayor's home in the weeks after it happened. Around that time they thought, well, there's some really good stone here, why not make that our business? And as they were pulling out the chunks, I saw, I recognized his face among the stones they had removed. I'm really sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate you identifying him so that he wouldn't end up being lost.
I hope you don't think it too grotesque to have done this, but I really did mean it as a commemoration. I asked them to do this.
I think he looks good. And I'm glad that that hopefully he's been a symbol and a light for the town to rebuild after that trying time.
She's going to demur a moment, looking down, but nod quietly. Brathen wouldn't be here without all of you. My family would eventually have fallen thrall to that creature, and We might have lost our children like some others did.
Well, I'm glad that we put an end to it.
I am
Nobody
too.
deserves that.
This time the foreman and the artist are going to arrive. And the wood elf is going to affect a haughty stance and look the three of you up and down with narrowing eyes and say, "I hear you want to take down my statue. Why?"
No, not a statue. First reason.
You insult my art?
No, what he means is that what is currently a statue was originally a person. Like, the actual pieces.
He's going to look around like he's thinking hard about something to say. Well, are they like to change from that?
That was kind of the idea.
You're not serious.
Oh, quite really. But it's more their discussion than mine.
He looks to the other two and says, "You're not serious."
We want to try to unpetrify him.
Well, that just sounds like a good way of killing him. I had to piece it back together painstakingly as the quarry was dug out. A good deal of my
technically, I think
own
he's
blood,
already
sweat, and
dead,
tears
so-
went into it.
And that is understandable and much appreciated. And certainly when you're doing something for nothing, if you would be amenable to us attempting this, I'd be happy to buy the statue off of you.
Oh? I am intrigued at the prospect of finally, he says, casting a glance at the foreman, being paid for my work. But I'm a bit more concerned about you taking this symbol of Brathen away from her people.
Well, the hope is to have the actual person around again.
Do we have the telepathic bond open?
I don't think we have an option to turn it off.
You have the option to not be on it, so you tell me if you're on it or not, and then if you're going to get on it or off of it. But you control whether or not you are on it by simply holding your hand over the mark and saying the words.
Right. Well, I'm on it.
Yeah, I don't think Raiken ever left it.
If I'm not on it, I kind of just walk up to the statue for a second, and I put my hand over it, and I very quietly speak the words, and then I turn around.
I need you to roll stealth. Remember that the words to this incantation are, "The journey is easier with the friends in my head."
Yeah, that doesn't sound crazy at all.
That's a 20.
That's a 20. That's impressive stealth. Well, they got a natural 1, so they're not being a 20. You incant these words under your breath, and the symbol begins to glow and changes color.
And I telepath to Cyrus. I was like, do I know about Cyrus's sword? What it does?
You should. Everyone was in the party when it happened last.
Yeah. No, I remember it happening, but I couldn't remember if Jebble actually was witness. So.
I mean, you probably saw the statue at the university last time you were there.
Oh, but that didn't mean anything.
Alright.
Jeez, how much does Jebble pay attention to? So I will telepath Cyrus. What were you going to do? What?
Was going to use my sword to restore the statue. There's a chance, depending on what the magic or perhaps the statue itself considers as its finished state, it would either return Bruenor to when he first got petrified, or do nothing, would be my guess. But if it returned
How
when he
long
was
does
first
that take?
petrified, about 5 minutes. But if it does return to his original state, that should give you all the pieces, as it were. Though, you'll find, so I imagine like the plaque and things would be gone. But, like I said, I'm not exactly certain which way it'll go.
I don't know. Would they be gone if he's just on something?
It depends on if, like, I'm not quite sure what the plaque is like. If it's like attached to
It's attached
part
to
of
the
Bruenor.
it's attached to the plinth atop which the statue stands.
Okay, then, yeah, I think it would only affect the person, if at all. It might just do a month or so of weathering.
How noticeable will this be? Whatever it is you're doing.
Well, considering I have to stand here with my sword touching it for a good 5 minutes, rather obvious.
Yeah,
I might be able to be subtle about it if I can, like, have it.
There's a whole song and dance to it.
Okay. So,
It's
then,
it's
yes,
a it's a
then just super
ritual.
obvious.
It's a ritual that you're casting.
no subtlety to this thing.
Oh. No.
Okay.
Corellin takes great pride in art and the art of
Yes.
casting magic.
Which makes perfect sense. I was just letting Jebble/Thomas know.
Yeah. Out loud, I'll say, yeah. My friend Cyrus here is going to try to repair the statue before we do anything else.
And by the way, anybody else who is on the bond, here's when they communicate with each other and can choose to respond as the peanut gallery I know you all to be.
Everything I want to say is to character, so it's going in the chat.
You can cast your spell. I still want to know what you're going to do about the statue, which has been a beacon of hope for this town, once it's gone, if you restore your friend.
Well, I could put a new block of stone there, and if the original's not willing to pose for you, I could certainly get a copy to do the job.
I think your 9th level spell is back at this time.
And even if it's not, I could just be the copy myself, since I can be any humanoid.
You can, but sculpting takes a long time.
True.
It's not like it'll be an afternoon. We're talking days and days of posing for a few hours a day.
That's a fair point.
Just so that you're aware of what you're hoping to sign up for. In any event, he shrugs at this and says, I suppose the town would also riot if I stood in the way of their heroes getting what they want.
As an additional option, I could put a actual copy of the person with the memories right there. Gesturing to the plinth. Make it an interactive exhibit.
You're going to restore him and then make a simulacrum of him, and then make that simulacrum just stand there until you cast another simulacrum?
Well, I cast another simulacrum of Bruenor. Yep.
I thought it was any simulacrum.
It might be. I don't know offhand.
It is, yeah. So if you cast the spell again, it destroys the existing, which is why there was that
Okay, so then,
priest.
yeah, then I do it.
in,
So then Ixnay on the offering the living statue.
Oh. Boo.
Because I don't want to lie to him. I just didn't quite understand how that one worked.
I like the living statue idea. In any event. Again, he's going to begrudgingly step aside so that you can do whatever it is you want, because he also doesn't want to make himself an enemy of this town by not giving their heroes what they want. So, you go to cast your spell? Or your ritual?
I do.
Okay. You draw out the sword, the Larethian aspirant. Sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to ask a question, but it's not super relevant till afterwards. So.
Okay. And you spend 5 minutes incanting, moving, displaying. Sort of like a peacock show here, as you do some very, noticeable, magic-looking things around it. And as you complete...
He's dancing like Kate Bush.
Indeed. He's running up that hill. As you complete this ritual, you are going to see basically a line traveling down the statue as a month or so of algae and weathering is removed, and the whole thing, plinth and engraved placard included, are restored to the day this artist finished his art. The broken segments are still cemented back together.
Alright. Well, I knew that was one of the two possible outcomes.
Yes, you learned that it was not art until this artist finished with it, and you have restored it to his original creation.
So, I suppose the other course of action would be to petrify it, regenerate it, revive it. But I can do none of the above.
I know I can... What's regenerate? Is that an actual...
It regrows limbs and things, but I believe it has to be done on a living person. I don't think you can regenerate a corpse. Maybe you can. I don't remember.
I don't know. It just seems like a way it might be able to be used.
Yeah, it just says touch a creature and stimulate its
I
natural
think
healing
if you
energy.
want to magically piece together a corpse to be whole again, it's
Mending.
a wish.
Or a wish.
Or because like wish will create a body from nothing, kind of thing, which you can then do other things with.
Yeah.
So then it would be, I guess, to petrify, and then Jebble's favorite spell.
So why don't the two of you, Cyrus and Jebble, roll Arcana? Jebble, I want you to do so with advantage, because the stuff that needs to happen is more in the wheelhouse of a druid, but I also know that druids aren't intelligence classes.
16.
14.
14. Okay.
I'm
You know-
smarter as a dragon, but I'm worse at Arcana.
You know that there are a few options here. One of which is wish. You do know that the less expensive options would be to fix the statue first, so that it is whole and of a single piece, not this plastered together mess, and then to use a spell to end petrification. And with a 16, Jebble, you know that Greater Restoration can do that. But if you Greater Restore him while he's technically in pieces, while the statue is not whole this way, plastered together, as I said, that you will simply unpetrify a mangled corpse. So, you know that there are a couple spells that work on objects. Mending repairs breaks in objects. Stone Shape could also be used to reform the statue in a single go, as opposed to having to mend each break.
Give me just 1 second.
Any chances Earth Elemental form to be particularly adept at finding the pieces?
Well, you can be pretty sure that they're not still in the quarry, since they've been mining that for over a month. Anything loose would already have been removed. And he would have been among the loose. He does appear to be mostly here. Anything chipped or missing appears to mostly be clothing or superficial skin stuff.
It's not too bad then.
It's not too bad.
I was imagining it was like a chunk out of like the back of the leg or something.
You lucked out.
Okay, so I don't have Stone Shape prepared. But I do know Mending.
I love that you know mending, and you didn't help Raiken the other night when the little umbrella got broken.
I don't remember this.
Oh. I also know mending, but I'm guessing this is gonna take like what? Half an hour to an hour since the minute casting for each like crack.
Well, it's going to go faster if there's two of you working on different cracks simultaneously.
Yep.
Poor Raiken had to wait for Laromendis to be done.
Because no one else responded, I know mending.
He wasn't here. Ask Simusirus next time.
They had they had put Simusirus and Laromendis into timeout. They weren't in that scene. Alright, so. Mending? The two of you? Statue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a go.
Between the two of you, you move around the statue casting mending. Takes you roughly an hour to be sure that you've hit all the spots. Be very confident that nothing important is broken, and the rest of that time to hit all the little other things so that it's as, unjarring and little damage to clothing and skin as possible. You see the concrete that he had been using, the cement to stick it all together, kind of flakes away, and you are left with smooth lines and even joineries of all the fingers and the limbs and the strands of hair. He appears to be, in a fighting posture, one foot in front of the other, and his two hands raised as though holding a two-handed weapon that is hafted. An axe, most likely.
Yeah, I want to find out. Well, I'm gonna shut up. I wasn't there.
So, once that is complete, you may, if you have it prepared, cast Greater Restoration.
I do.
You cast it.
Don't forget to mark off either the residuum or material components.
Correct. It
Yeah.
does have a cost. It's what, 100 gold pieces worth?
It's like 1, 3, or
Yep.
5. I don't know.
I think it's 1.
Come back here. It's 100.
Boom. Alright. You cast the spell, and the residuum flows out of your pack, swirling
Well,
itself.
I have the diamond dust, so I'm going to just use that.
The diamond dust swirls around the statue, and slowly color restores itself to the statue, flowing down, starting with the hair, as suddenly the gray stone locks of hair return to black and begin to move and blow in the wind slightly. The stony gray ashen skin returning to a pinkish. And as the magic moves down and the head, fully returns to living flesh, you're going to see Bruenor staring out straight ahead, and as the magic finally reaches his chest, you're going to see him take a ragged breath in and blink for the first time and begin to look around and sees the magic flowing down his body. He finally is able to kind of move his hands again and rubs his eyes and then looks at his hands. And then he looks up at you. And he says...
Does he look up at us or down at us?
Down.
Did we? Yeah.
Except for Raiken.
It's still slightly down at Raiken. Because of the plinth. And he's going to look at Raiken and say, "What happened?"
You were petrified.
I remember we were fighting the spider. And then it got me.
Yes. It petrified you, and unfortunately we weren't able to save you before the tunnel collapsed.
And the magic is finally going to reach the bottom of his boots, and he's going to stumble forward off of the plinth towards you, Raiken.
Raiken will catch him.
Going to, look a bit surprised. Just my legs are weak. How
You've been
long?
stuck in stone
How long?
for about 2 months.
I didn't
Didn't even
feel
need finger counting for that one.
I didn't feel a second of it. Who are they?
New party
New
members.
Oh,
This is Jebble. Raiken points to Jebble and then points to Cyrus. This is Cyrus.
Hello.
he's going to squint at each of you and he's going to gesture for you to place him on the ground.
Raiken will do so.
And he's a little unsteady at first, but he's going to reach out a hand, kind of narrowing his eyes, taking in all the features of the people in front of him. First at Jebble. And then at Cyrus. And then he's going to look back up at you, Raiken, and he says, "Did ya have a funeral for me? Did you wait a week before replacing me, or was it all the same day?"
I think did we have did we have at least like a moment of
I think
like
Lia said words, maybe? I think?
Maybe you should check the bond.
I think she was the only one who gave a shit.
I feel like I said something.
Hold on a second here. Raiken doesn't say a whole lot of things unless it's about chords, so...
I mean, I feel like Rowan said something, but he was also gone within like another week after that, so...
You have a telepathic bond if you want to ask the rest of the party.
Yeah,
Get your story straight.
Raiken is going to ask, over the bond, hey, did we have any, like, special remembrance for Bruenor at all after he after he got petrified? I don't think anybody else knows.
Who has the letter that came from?
I
think it was Vindor? Or okay.
I guess I should ask. Thomas, would you like to take over playing him? Because you might have something that you want to cover that I don't know about.
Hold on, let me think. Let me think about Bruenor. It's been
a while.
it's been a long time. It has not been 2 months.
I don't want to kind of take that from you if that's something you want, and I definitely don't want to present him in a way that doesn't jive with you.
Okay, so it falls on. Did you have any kind of anything memorial? And I like turn around. Bruenor turns around to look at like where he was standing, and he notices the plinth, and he goes, well, that's something."
Yes, the town literally turned you into a statue in honor of your sacrifice.
Well, I mean, the beholder literally turned him into a statue. The town
Yes,
figuratively turned him into a statue.
They put him on display as a statue.
Where's the axe?
What?
A minute ago, I had an axe. You know, like gold leaf.
Never heard of it.
Kind of
Oh,
tacky.
is that
Kind of tacky.
the axe of Dwarven Lords?
Yes.
Where did that go?
Wait, at the bottom.
Wait, yeah, wasn't that also destroyed by the
No, because that
Earth
was.
Elemental?
Well, he couldn't destroy it, but the whole point was he kept it because it was enslaving him.
I thought he just buried it at the bottom of the hole.
Oh, he probably did. He probably took it and buried it somewhere.
Yeah,
that was the trade-off.
Well, I don't think Raiken's going to know that then, because he didn't know what he doesn't remember what Yukikaze what Yukikaze said to the Earth Elemental to get him to rescue them. Maybe it's still lost down in the ground somewhere. I don't know.
You guys see a giant golden axe anywhere? Apparently.
The foreman, Gurdell, says, "We removed all the loose stone. We found... and then we started cutting. We didn't see anything of particular note until Rose pointed out that some of the stones were person-shaped. Or parts of person-shaped."
Bruenor is going to check his belt to see if his family axe is still there.
All of your equipment is still with you, except for the axe of the Dwarvish Lords, and you find that your backpack is, like, torn open and has no contents.
Still have his bag of holding with all the money in it.
was the thing.
He was the thing. He was also the Swiss Army knife that literally grabbed every fucking
weapon.
Right. Can't leave those behind.
It only
Well,
sank him to the bottom of a river once.
We're just gonna call that the retirement package.
The problem now is that Bruenor's character sheet existed before backpacks were a separate inventory thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember. I had a load of stuff that was like,
Is it still on the sheet?
it's all, yeah, because it's all under equipment. Like he has 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 6 daggers.
Yep.
They're not in the backpack.
Only 6 daggers?
They're secreted about him. He's got like daggers in his boots, daggers in his gloves. I think he has like a dagger hidden in his beard somewhere.
There are things that I miss
beard
about
will be
Bruenor.
Or a battle beard.
Because like he has ball bearings. They weren't in the backpack. Because he's got like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pouches. Some of this stuff I remember being in the pouch. Like he has inventory, other possessions.
For the most part, the pouches are intact, but it's as though while you were stone, the backpack got smashed, and any of its contents that hadn't been petrified, the magic stuff, would have fallen out and gotten lost down there. And either the earth elemental made off with it, or this guy's lying to you.
Hmm.
Also, I didn't describe it, but it says, restoring and reviving Bruenor will bring him back with no memory of the time petrified, not aged at all. His skin and equipment will bear craggy, jagged scars where the statue had been broken. These are entirely cosmetic. The axe of the dwarvish lords is gone, so just on portions of your skin, like around one wrist, at a shoulder, like around your neck, there are just these, maybe millimeter deep scars that look like the jagged break of the stone statue. Just pale white skin there, but you don't feel any pain, you haven't lost any sensation there, and it doesn't affect any of your stats. It's entirely cosmetic. But it is a reminder of this thing that happened.
Well, Bruenor had scars already anyway.
Alright, well now he's got more.
Remember, he had like a massive scar across his face.
I do remember that. I also remember he cut his own hand open on his knife.
Yes.
Because he was drunk and upset.
But he's holding his family's axe, and he's just, well, as long as I have this. And he should still have the dagger that belonged to his nephew. Check for that as well.
I believe that you kept that on you and safe, so I'm going to say yes. You still have that with the nephew's name still engraved upon it.
I don't know, what else did I have on my belt?
I'm gonna tap Bruenor on the shoulder and say, I don't suppose you have a spare set of clothes on you, do you?
Just turn the backpack inside out. But
It's
doesn't
just
look like it, no.
shredded and empty.
And I just throw it aside.
Alright, then I'll step aside and quietly address the head of the quarry. See if I can buy a spare set off of him to address the simulacrum that'll be coming by shortly.
Yeah. the three people there who are not part of your party or former party are all still, a little... They've been talking to you, answering questions, but they're still kind of looking upon this whole thing in wonder and a little bit of confusion as this overly casual conversation is happening between, two people they don't know, a former hero, and a former hero who up until just seconds ago was very dead.
And very much a statue.
So, there's a little bit of... You kind of have to shake them out of that a little bit to get their attention. And the dwarf says, "What? You want clothing?"
Yes, I promised him a copy. Sadly, that copy comes without clothes. So, for decency reasons...
He's just gonna throw his hands up, go, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll be right back. And he seems glad to be getting away from you. The woman, Rose, is going to approach slowly at this point, having been finally disturbed enough by his boisterous exit. And you can see, some tears come to her eyes as she steps up to the dwarf. And she's going to, come down to one knee so that she can look you in the eye, Bruenor. And she says, I didn't even know your name well. And you gave your life for us. You saved my children.
Did Bruenor... For Bruenor, he would remember her, right? Because they have just met?
you saw her today. in as far as Bruenor knows, he saw her earlier today. In fact, he probably saw her like 20 minutes ago when she was coming out of the mayor's office, excited that she has a home now.
But somehow it looks like she's aged 2 months.
Yeah, because, that's easy to see.
Yeah. She has longer hair than you remember.
Fair enough. It's in a new style.
Yeah, Bruno, you changed your hair.
2 months is a while.
I just kind of leans in. I'm catching up on stuff. It's been like 2 minutes for me.
Be thankful. A lot of difficult things have happened in the time that you missed. Probably better that you weren't here for it. But I wanted to say thank you to you. When they started finding pieces in the quarry, I asked that they be put to use in a memorial for you. I hope that wasn't insulting.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna gestures out, just. Well, I'm here now. This all worked out in the end. And then he'll turn to Raiken and go, I'm assuming you don't really need me anymore. I might be a bit out of touch. You might have. I'm imagining a lot has happened. He's gesturing to all the different stuff that Raiken is now carrying.
You're not even wearing armor right now, are you? You just got your necklace bouncing around your neck.
No, Raiken would have his armor on.
Oh, he would?
Yeah.
Bruenor has never seen this armor before.
Nope.
He's wearing this impressive, futuristic power armor.
This weird purple worms shields.
Yeah.
All kinds of things.
Yeah. I'm the champion of Cord now. But yes, so
Nice.
a lot of things have happened, and you obviously need to get your bearings. But what I can say is we are still on our journey to take down the dragons.
Bruenor doesn't know
So-
there's more than one dragon.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's like follow forward.
No.
We're heading back to our Akosia.
No.
Oh, that place is a mess.
Did we are wait. Was he not part of our Kosha?
No, he was.
That's where the axe came from.
Yeah. He was part of the Arcosia thing.
Okay. No, we're not going back to Arcosia. No, the other chromatic dragons, other than the white dragon, that's all the others have risen. So it's not just Bala.
And he just kind of stares into the distance for a moment. It's just okay. A lot has happened.
And it was kind of my brother that made them rise.
Stuff.
Kind of.
I didn't know you had a brother.
He'd never come up.
Yeah.
I mean, his uncle came up, I think.
Yeah, his uncle came up.
Yeah, my uncle and then my parents.
Bruenor actually met Raiken's uncle.
What?
Yes.
He was the guy bedridden in Dragon's Hearth.
Yes, because we had to do the zone of truth on him because like everyone was like, "Is he telling the truth?"
Dragons destroyed a country? Bullshit. This guy isn't your uncle, he's lying. Doesn't even look like you. Bullshit. He's the lone survivor of this attack? How convenient. Bullshit.
But yes, we took down my brother and took over his army. And now we're hoping to use that army and hopefully any other resources from whatever the rest of the Amaranta will give us.
Over the bonds, these are probably the facts you don't want to go spreading around.
This is Bruenor! Raiken doesn't give a shit!
And well, that was true. Standing 5 feet away.
What is going on?
What are you spreading around?
Nothing, go back to your things.
What's this
I don't know that I should.
You definitely should not.
You didn't come up with us, it's your fault.
Wait, no, explain. What they're talking about, Bruenor?
Like they're just having this. They're just staring into space, and Bruenor is just there, like, "What? Are you two okay?"
Just imagine that suddenly getting shouted at everyone's head. This is Bruenor, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Bruenor, a lot of things have happened. You need to get your bearings and recover. And
Are you? What happened there? You just
What?
stopped talking for.
Zoned out mid-sentence on me. Did you have a stroke?
Don't worry, I'm just communicating with the rest of the party that aren't
That's
here.
going to need explanation as well. Okay.
We're
By the way,
bonded.
Tristan, I sent you a message.
Oh.
Did I
We're-
not
we're-
have telepathic bond with Bruenor? Did I not have 5th level spells?
I don't think you had telepathic bond at that point.
A
Yeah,
block.
I'm trying to remember, but I can't remember if he ever did.
What level do you get 5th level spells at?
I'm pulling up
9.
the table now.
9.
Oh, you might have then, because Bruenor was 9.
Now I just need to. I think that telepathic bond was the first 5th level spell that I took. It was not the first 9th level spell I took.
But yeah, the quick, easy way to remember is that the spell level you have access to is always you get the access to that spell at double -1. So
Okay, yeah.
5 times 2 is 10, -1 is 9. So at 9th level is when you get 5th level spells.
So, Raiken just explained that they're on telepathic bond.
In some shape or form, yes. That they're bonded telepathically.
Gonna show him your cool new tattoo.
Okay. Bruenor, he'll gesture towards Jebble and Cyrus and go, any other changes aside from these two? Who's new? Who's old? Who's come? Who's gone?
Who's dead?
Anyone else die?
Yeah. Wait. I mean, hopefully he's not dead, but Rowan.
Like, this is the beginning of a sentence now. Bruenor is just like,
Hopefully he's not dead.
Bruenor is just like, okay, I have to see. Where is this going to go? This is not inspiring confidence now.
Well.
This is not how you begin. Well, I'm hoping he's not dead. But, like, okay, what?
Rowan is no longer with the party.
He didn't get petrified too, I hope.
No, he wasn't given that luxury.
Nah, I think he got kidnapped and sent to hell. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
After some other events.
The two people who are not part of this party or the old party who are standing here just sort of bearing witness to this seem momentarily distracted as a stone block, roughly the extremist dimensions of Bruenor, grows slowly out of the plinth where he used to be standing, and they seem to kind of catch themselves and turn back as somebody says, "Taken to hell." Rose is just gonna say, I really just wanted to understand what was going on here and express my gratitude to the adventurers who saved us, but I think perhaps I shouldn't remain for this discussion.
It might be for the best.
Thanks, Rose. Raiken kind of waves to her.
Everything.
For a long moment.
And then Bruenor is just going to turn on Raiken and, like, just poke him in the chest and go, like, you get him back.
I mean,
Hey,
Laromendis technically made us abandon him.
Why are there so many buses here? Where did they all come from? Why do they all come for me?
We insist we go get him, but Lair's like, no, we can't.
Well, hey, Lair, someone's throwing you under the bus. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah, and that's over the bond.
What is going on?
I'm catching up
Yes,
with Bruenor. Don't worry about it.
I think I should be very worried now.
Catch Bruenor?
Yeah, we brought Bruenor back to life.
Yeah, Jebble was
You
just
what?
Yeah, I unpetrified him. He
I'm
seems
glad
to
that
be
was
really
successful.
annoyed that Rowan is in hell. And then Bruenor
So you
just,
just
like...
brought him back to life and you're bringing all the bad news immediately?
You know,
Yeah.
now I think about it, Laromendis, you have that spell we use for Tatsuya, right? Could you use that on Rowan?
Oh my god.
The silence speaks
Can I?
volumes.
But like,
I'm dying.
We used a lot of spells on Tatsuya.
Gate.
I
Kidnapping
rolled. Yeah, no, I knew which spell you meant.
Fireball?
I rolled Arcana. I got a 34. I guess I'm also rolling History. That's a 22 in History. Do I know enough of his name?
You know that he was Rowan. I don't think he gave you his last name. Jarek, do you remember ever using Rowan's last name in the presence of the party? Oh, I'm getting messages.
I don't remember it. I thought Rowan was like share. It was just one word.
I mean, in that case, you could try that and hope that's his whole name. I guess I don't need these notes for now.
Make a simulacrum of him and ask him his full name.
You need to touch him for that.
You were rolling history and Arcana. With the Arcana, you know, that could work. He's on a different plane. If what you know of his name is all there is, you could pull him out with that. That might upset some devils.
I think
But they're devils. How are they gonna find you?
There is that like pause as you know, like you just imagine the gears in Laromendis' head turning about this problem, and he's like, it could be possible if his name is enough to identify him, which is possible. His name Rowan. He says, "I don't know the rest, anything else that he's called himself." So it's possible that's enough to identify him per the spell. I mean, I suppose I could do a not divination. What's the other one? Immune to confirm that before wasting a 9th level spell. Which is not a terrible idea if we were going to do that. There are concerns about how we would need to handle him upon his re-arrival to the material plane, though.
As you're staring into the distance, Bruenor will just be like, yeah, you do realize I can't hear anything that you're saying right now.
I think we're working on an extraction plan. You know, for Rowan at your request.
Does Vendar have anything to say about this? Because this is all him hitting on the bond, so he could respond if he has thoughts. They are talking to an old friend of his.
Bruenor will say, why is he in hell? What happened?
That's a long story.
We can't hear Bruenor.
I can't hear that part.
Yeah, I can hear it.
No, but you've heard the rest of the party's discussion about trying to get
Yeah.
Rowan out and talking to Bruenor. Like that, they're talking to Bruenor. Just wanted to make sure you knew that you're not excluded from talking right now.
So Abishai got a hold of him and tried to get us in the process with him. And we escaped.
You might have to roll
This is starting to sound very familiar. Let's say Bruenor gets trapped, we escape. Rowan gets trapped, we escape.
At least, I guess he
What
knows.
time you get captured by the app? So yeah, it's all the way back from Laromendis fucking up and not doing what he was supposed to do in the first place and guiding Rowan.
Which was like 2 days after losing Bruenor.
Yeah, and then immediately ignored his supposed duty. Let Rowan get taken away by the Assassin's Guild.
Look, out of character.
What does that sound? I hear
Corellin
another
is an
bus?
asshole.
Corellin is an asshole.
I don't know how they keep fighting. I'm in a house.
They're a house surrounded by buses and they keep banging on the
They're
door.
just circling the inn.
Somebody in Fanon City where they've just invented the first omnibus wagon, and it's just got a little sign giving its destination. It just says Laromendis. And the person goes, I don't know where that is, but I want to get out of town, so... And they get on the bus.
No, it's a truck coon is coming out after Laromendis.
Gonna get isekai'd into the real world.
Oh no. Teaching doesn't pay well. Laromendis is fucked.
Yep. Teach pays way better in this world.
That's why it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
You were asking for Arcana roll. I got an 11.
I was asking Bruenor, sorry I didn't get to finish that. Bruenor should
okay.
make the Arcana roll to see if he knows what an Abishai is.
Who doesn't?
He doesn't. So they've just told you that this thing with a stupid name took Rowan to hell, and then the rest of the party escaped.
Oh no, I think Abishai is a cool name.
Well, there are some finer points, but best discussed in private, I think, for those.
The normies have left you because this was getting a little out of their depth.
Yeah,
They were
all the parent
casually
of know what
talking
people that
about
super
hell.
clothes.
Like I said, out of their depth.
So
No, I'm saying that's what the person is saying as they're walking away to the other one.
One of the heroes of the town got turned into a statue. Another one got dragged to hell. What the hell happened to the rest of them?
They aren't here.
So, since the normies have left, I will try to explain the other important bits that I find important. Well, from my understanding, admittedly I was not here for this part, Rowan left sometime after this, I think. I'm guessing since you remember him.
Easier just to say, like, shortly before you got there.
Or that, yeah. A little bit before I joined. Then later, he showed up having taken over a town with a kind of a hero's dilemma murder plot set up in a castle trying to kill all of us. There seemed to be kind of a small heart-to-heart, and then the kidnapping when we were in the Underdark. It's been a whole thing.
he took over a town.
Oh, I'm being corrected by my friends. I guess your friends too. Capital city, not town.
It was the capital city of Bromdor.
That's the one. Never remember the name.
He took over an entire country.
No. He took over the capital
And,
Ours
and
is
possibly the military.
and,
But-
and
He
effectively
controlled the
usurped-
government.
Effectively
He took over the
usurped the country. He was playing king. They were listening to him. He took over the country.
I recall there also being some discussion of holy mandate that was either ignored, misinterpreted, or just forgotten.
Oh, the Tatsuya's coming back.
Truckgoon's on his way.
But that I don't have like the full details on. I think Laromendis was involved. Might want to talk to him.
Oh man.
Yeah, how embarrassing to be killed by a Daihatsu.
Yeah.
The tiniest truck in the world.
So as you can see, a lot of stuff has happened. The important thing is I'm the champion of court now.
Yes, that's the important thing. Not that my friend is in hell.
Quick, Raiken, roll for pride. He's hurting it.
Do I get any pluses?
Yeah, you get like a +1.
To be fair, we did try to save him when the whole kidnapping thing happened. After that's been, well, the world's been kind of in danger, so it's been a thing.
We thought about helping him and ultimately decided it would be too much work.
Guess what? Raiken got a 19 for pride, so he still has plenty of it.
You still have plenty of pride. You feel a little achy ache in your tum tum because he's being mean about your promotion, but you'll be okay.
You say it would be. We decided it would be too much danger. I think it's more that we decided the risks of doing so versus the one life.
I thought it had just been that we didn't have the time.
He did not think it was worth it for us to go after Rowan, and he convinced the
I'm
rest
trying
of
to
the party
remember
that he was
exactly
right.
what we were.
You
There was at one point it was time. I don't remember what the immediate first thing was
All right,
because we made a call at the very beginning.
So you had been going through the tunnels of the Underdark. You found that shortcut to hell there, and then you came upon the city of Onyx, which was being bullied by the Abishai. As soon as you rolled up on them, they did their best to just get Rowan away as quickly as possible, and you figured with your casting of spells that they must have taken him back to that shortcut to hell, but then you had to deal with the Abishai who remained, and then there was a big dragon attacking, and so you had two options, which was intercept Tatsuya before he could get to the White Scale, or go after Rowan, who was in hell. Those were your two options.
Right.
And you knew that Tatsuya was already on his way to the White Scale, even though he shouldn't know where it is.
Yeah. So I think Laromendis will use that one, not the we didn't have the time. Use that one as the thing that he attempts to defend himself with.
That was your ultimatum. Your ultimatum was go after Tatsuya or go after Rowan.
In case you see Bruenor here in a bit, Laromendis, here are the things you need to prepare alibis for. I'll just list off the buses that have been thrown at him. with no names attached to three of them.
I mean, there's only one name.
He just looks at the papers that he's reading. And he's like, I have things I need to do. Like verbally. He does not say that over the. He just there's like a stack. There's like a stack to the right of him, which is papers that he's looked at. And there's to the left that he's about to look at. His book is open in front of him as an unseen servant writes in it to record things.
Fax machine pops out of nowhere, and you start getting those seats for all those buses that are coming.
Wait, did you separately summon an unseen servant within the illusion to do this for you?
I think it's efficient.
It is. You're just dictating.
I did not think to do that before, but it seems a funny thing to say that he's doing, and so absolutely doing it.
All right. So you are rosebudding Bruenor in probably the worst way possible.
Yeah, I feel like things could have been worded better. Personally.
And things are going to continue getting bad for Laromendis, I sense.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you have Raiken being one of the people explaining things to him. That's a terrible decision.
Make it sound like I made all of the decisions.
I think what I wanted.
There's so many of us.
I think what I want to do is jump back to Storm Reef to handle the scene for Laromendis and the people who are there with him. I want you four, technically, or Jebble, Bruenor, Cyrus, Raiken, to have a text chat and determine what your characters talk about. And when I come back to them, which will probably be next session, you can read off some of that or just summarize some things. But I want you guys to have a little in-character text chat that we can play off of next time. Figure out where you kind of go up to and how you phrase things. Does that sound okay to you guys?
Gonna be so many editing things being like, wait, the bus isn't big enough. I can fix that.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah.
And if it's easier, you can do, I don't know, a DM. Just include me. Yeah, that looks like somebody's already done it. Cool. Okay. Laromendis and Vendar and Lia and Yukikaze. I believe that Yukikaze went out to do his general Yukikaze stuff with Seltharis and the Simulacra.
Yep.
Hilariously, if he makes a simulacrum of Bruenor, both Simulacra that are here are going to vanish.
Yeah. I still like my suggestions of Laromendis is just and then disappears, and Cyrus is
up into the sky.
Up into the sky on a beam of light, and then explodes.
More candy again.
Raiken's not there to grab it this time.
Vendar.
Oh, I got a rock.
Vendar.
Yeah.
Since you have created all of the TNT that you have the materials to create for the time being, and 17 sticks is probably excessive anyway, what would Vendar be doing where, after you wake up this morning, Yukikaze goes to do general stuff?
At the end of the last session, he had Lair recreate or resummon the mansion so that he could refine the purple worm poison that he extracted.
Right, okay. So you are off doing that. Okay, so yes, he does.
Doing more gross smelling shit.
More gross smelling shit. Do it in the Magnificent Mansion, which is recreated. That's very good. You have everything you need in there. And
Redwood is wearing a gas mask.
And this way it doesn't affect the inn. So I'm sure Ruby is happy about that. Lia Elisa, you were absent last time, and I did as you asked. I had Lia working with the Black Rose, helping to build their knowledge and understanding of what they need to do and get them prepared to make their pacts. Would you be continuing with that? Would you be helping Laromendis with his spell to understand the stuff that happened there? As a catch-up on that, as you might recall, they had tried to get into one of Tatsuya's drawers, and it disintegrated the whole thing, all of the whatever's in there, so Laromendis is going to use his historical lens to go back and try and see those documents when they were not destroyed.
The amount of magic Laromendis is throwing at this problem.
It might not be possible to do without. But you have the option to do that, or to do as Yukikaze has done and go do army stuff and Black Rose stuff. But you are more than welcome to request to be in the illusion with Lair.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So after you recreate the magnificent mansion, what have I done with him? Oh well. You return to the scene of the crime, as it were, Laromendis, and Lia requests to join you.
Excellent.
Lorelei.
I do think that Laromendis would go and speak with Ruby first to let her know what he's doing, and that the wall that because there will be a purple wall in the space where the wall goes.
Yep.
So he wants to make sure that she's aware that that's not it's fine.
Now, remind me, because I don't recall, but is it always 100-foot radius diameter, or can it be smaller?
I think that it was up to that, because I remember we explicitly said, like, using the spyglass to, like, look at the edges of it. I don't...
Well, I know that you always did describe the doing that way. I don't remember offhand. For now, let's say that you can make it smaller. There might have been a reason, just for balancing, that it was, like, locked in at that size. Because it's powerful, then you should also be stuck with the size. Like, that is a reasonable thing in my mind. But for now, let's ignore it and say that you can keep it contained to this room, and then I'll return to that later.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about things offline.
Yeah, because like I say, it makes sense to me that I might have put a stipulation in there that it's like, nah, it's always 100 feet, and, this can be great, or it can be bad. That seems like a good balancing act there to me, but I'm going to ignore it for right now, because I can't remember. So, you cast your spell, and, again, just as out on the battlefield, Lia, the place becomes ringed in purple, and the wall begins to rise, and slowly the room comes to look almost exactly the same as it currently does, except that you see the wall rebuilds itself, and the things that have been messed up or strewn about from the different places that have been searched disappear or straighten out. The bed no longer looking all messed up by Raiken rolling around on it. The chest now closed and all of its contents restored to the inside. I assume you're going back to shortly before you blew it up, or are you going back further?
He would pick a time before we blew it up, but, like, that would not overlap with coffers going into the basic, like, at some point, like, yesterday in the morning or something.
So a time when the room was probably empty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, any time before coffers went up there, it was probably empty. So yes, in the morning it works. So the light through the window honestly looks quite similar because it's still morning. So at first glance, the spell it's hard to tell that the spell has even been cast, except that the wall is suddenly back. So, you know that there is a spell on this chest that will cause it to disintegrate if you trigger it. How are you getting around that?
He's gonna cast a 7th level Dispel Magic on it. I am trying to so given the size of the container, do I think it is relatively reasonable that with Laromendis's memory and an unseen servant that I could, and with Lia's help, we could get through everything in 2 hours? Or do I use the 24-hour one to be the most sure?
You, Laromendis, never saw the stack of papers that's in there, so you don't know how big it is or how densely populated those pages were. That wasn't information that Jebble provided back to you. He just said, there's a stack of papers, an inkwell, and a probably magic quill in here. So, with the 3 of you all looking at things, it seems not unreasonable, but it's entirely possible that there's a lot. I mean, he's able to do 5 sendings a day, and if he were to do that every single day, since he got the quill, which you don't know when that is, like, there could potentially be a lot of writing.
Yeah.
But you do also know that you can always cast a spell again if you don't get it done in 2 hours.
That's true, but I only have the 1 8th level spell slot, so it wouldn't. If I cast it again, I'd be casting the. If I cast it again today, I'd be using my 9th level spell.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll just do the 9th level spell. So it would actually probably have to start, like at night.
Yeah.
Or something, so that 24 hours of its time didn't overlap with coffers. So
is that just because you don't want to deal with fake coffers? Like, I guess there's a part of me going, well, what's the problem if coffers comes in? And he's just like, oh, you beat me here.
You just then tell coffers to leave, and then,
and then the party comes in, then you get to deal with yourselves. That'll be super fun.
Wait a minute.
Waiting.
Laromendis still had a 7th level spell slot yesterday.
Okay. What, you're gonna have him cast it inside itself?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
If I cast...
Gonna kill you. We're not Larcepting this right now. I'm not dealing with that. Deal with this.
Fine, I will use my 9th level spell like a boring person.
Convince your past self to cast the spell for you.
Well, because remember, we've already established that Laromendis has a code phrase.
Yes.
So that he knows when he's in the spell.
Yeah.
So it would be easy to convince himself to do it.
Right, but even if he casts the spell, it's still constrained by your casting of the spell. Because he only exists as long as your spell does.
Exactly, but
I'm
like,
so confused.
if I do the 2 hours starting from when Laromendis walks in the door, when Coffers leaves the door, and just go and do that, cast the 7th level spell, get rid of the thing, and then I have 2 Laromendises. I cast a 9th level spell.
3
We start in the afternoon.
Fucking hate you. Right, you cast the spell. You start in the afternoon. You begin, and then you cast your 7th level Dispel Magic on the memory of the cabinet.
Yes.
The Disintegrate was the highest level spell on there. The warding glyph of warding containing the Disintegrate was the highest level spell on there, so everything is gone.
Excellent.
So, you open the drawer. Within, you find what Jebble had described to you. A stack of parchment, quite deep in the drawer. A couple of inkwells, both still mostly full, a third one half full, and laid gently on a folded cloth is this quill that seems to sparkle and shimmer now and then, unnatural in the light. You begin going through the stack of papers. You hand a stack to Lia, and you begin dictating to your unseen servant, who writes down your findings word for word in the Book of Endless Pages, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Leah also just, like, I would have picked up some paper or something for Leah to make notes, to record what we're seeing,
Okay.
what the sendings are and everything,
All
because
right.
they're going to disappear in 24 hours.
So, because I wrote these out by hand and not typing, I'm going to read them off to you two. The ones that I wrote. And because I decided to write what I wrote, I'm just going to read it in the order that I wrote it. But, you know, imagine that the two of you are finding these on different pages that you've split between yourselves.
Yeah.
The quill, or rather the parchment, is filled with script in two different hands, and they are always the same two hands, is what you notice. That there's a couple of sentences in a bold and strong-lined, proud hand, and then there's a thin, crisp, very delicate one. And even though you can notice quickly at a glance that these different two-sentence, couple-sentence pairings up are addressed to different people, the return segments are always in the same hand. And it is different from the first. So it is always Tatsuya's, and then the hand that must be just how the quill's magic works. Mm-hmm. That is what you're able to determine by looking at these. I'm going to just read them in order, if that's alright with everybody.
Yeah.
So, very clearly in the proud hand of Tatsuya, these are not dated, just so you know. He wasn't... Either he was smart enough not to date things to make it harder for an intruder to trace, or he wasn't thinking and didn't date them even for his own records.
Yeah.
But
I think Laromendis would be very careful with to maintain the order of things when he pulled the papers out.
Yeah.
And is going to be, like, making notations about the orders that the papers are in, and will probably later go start making notes about, like, when he thinks that they were in relation to each other and that kind of thing. But, like, he's gonna basically number them himself, and then dates will be figured out at another point.
That seems reasonable. Alright, so this is stuff written by your uncle and responses to him, Lia. So you're aware of all the stuff I'm saying. You're in the room and can talk about it with Laromendis, so interrupt me at any time to have those conversations if you like.
Sure. My mind is a little divided right now, but yeah, I'll try.
Okay. So, beginning at the beginning. In Tatsuya's hand, you see... Master Hagrishin, I speak to you as champion of Bahamut. I seek aid in vanquishing his sister. He commands me to gather his faithful for battle. The response in that thin, careful script, seemingly no one's, reads, Young Master Lumos, good to hear from you. Bahamut's most devout, I thought already with you. I have many I can spare from the temple. The second set. A great stirring of Tiamat's worms begins. Bahamut commands all able to prepare. I will be gathering his followers in person. Have a platoon ready. And the response, seemingly from another person who is known, as there is no address at the top of either.
Mm-hmm.
50 clerics, paladins, and soldiers of Bahamut await your return, champion. We will bring the glory of Bahamut to the followers of Tiamat. Praise him. The third pairing. I have gained new recruits from the ashes of the Bromdor-Aspara War. I make for Arcosia. Expect me after a 10-day, longing for home. And the response. Detachment sent to ground in Sylvanas. Green One took us unawares and overmatched. Seed of Bahamut to fall in hours, days at best. I'm sorry. Fourth pairing. Keep faith, old friend. I will petition Bahamut to hasten our arrival. No response given. Fifth pairing. Skirkle, you twisted imp! I left specific instructions to direct Bala to the north, to join her brother in Ebengard. What the hells have you unleashed? The response. Skirkle did as the Dragonborn commanded. Skirkle is devout. Mistress Bala insisted she had one thing she must do before going to her brother. She... The message cuts off. 25 words reached. Sixth pairing. Father, I've just learned through Bahamut of Bala's attack on our home. I pray you and Mother are safe still. You must flee the capital. The response. Tatsuya, faith in Bahamut keep you, boy. It is too late for our ancestral home, but it is not too late for you and Raiken. And then, this is where I skipped to the most recent one, just to have a little bit of a spread.
Yeah.
From Tatsuya. Master Fen of the Mages Guild, the champion of Bahamut appeals to your sensible and wise nature. I beg an alliance against Tiamat. The response. Mr. Lumos, your reputation precedes you, as does your brother. My lady has promised her resources to them in the fight against Tiamat. Thank you. That is all I have.
Laromendis just makes a face about Fen.
Seems real.
And it's like, and then is like, I think he like relatively quietly, but Leah's gonna be able to hear him say it. It's like, that's why he scried on us. It was Fen's fault.
Leah, you've been addressed.
Sorry. Yeah, what did you say?
So Laromendis, it's almost sort of to himself, but also like is clearly intending you to hear it when he gets to that last one. Says that's why he scried on us. It's Fen's fault.
Hmm.
You remember that Fen is the leader of the Mages Guild in Shirkawa.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And that Laromendis doesn't like him.
Does this change things? Should we have to
It makes
deal
me
with
like
Fen?
him less. Not for anything in these reasons, but I think that the two of us will not get on when I join the guild.
I'll probably write more of those and pass them along to you in some keepable record way. But I do imagine that since receiving this quill, he's been using it to great length to establish his connections and keep his lines of resources, both people and magic items and money, flowing. And so you using the spell to have access to that information is going to quite well lay out his, if not his plan, how he was going about his plan.
Yeah. What he was communicating about his plan broadly enough to get people interested and invested.
Yeah. You can clearly see that there are, at least two faces of Tatsuya in these communications. The ones where he is playing the champion of Bahamut and convincing people to join a righteous cause, and those ones where he's communicating with the followers of Tiamat or his connections to Tiamat and forcing his will upon them to bring Tiamat back.
Yeah. That's why you can't trust imps and things.
It is possible that the imp was the thing he
Abishai,
called
yeah.
an imp was a devil.
Yeah. I'm assuming that it was an Abishai if it was supposed to be able to control dragons.
Roll me Arcana.
I'm good at those.
It's true. I don't know why I bother. It's gonna be
It's a 16 on
30.
die. That's a 36.
Yeah. Okay. Skirkle. It could be a fiendish name, but honestly, there's a little tickle in the back of your mind. You think it might be a kobold?
Okay. That does make sense, because I think
the way it speaks and just the formation of the name feels particularly kobold to you.
And I think that we had information that... we knew that kobolds were involved in the resurrection of Shisharan. So it would make sense that he was using kobolds for the other ones too.
Yeah. Who knows what kind of a mood a dragon is when you bring it back from a 1,000-year death. Maybe best not to be the first thing it sees.
Those poor kobolds.
He's stupid, but he's not stupid.
He's stupid, but he's not as stupid as that kobold.
The idea of just the kobold trying to tell a mother dragon what to do, and the dragon being like, I'm gonna do something else first. The kobold being like, okay!
Yes, you are. Can I help with it? No, she's gone. Whew.
Skirkle. So yeah, I'll try to send you some transcript of that, and maybe I'll type up the next one so that I can send those more easily, but I do have an interest in making that a story. A story told in sendings.
Mm-hmm. I think that was fun. I enjoyed the look at things.
Yeah, it felt important to kind of flesh out how he presented himself at the beginning and how his manipulations turned on him. I can do more with that, so...
My machinations lay undetected for years.
It's entirely possible that first sending when he addressed the master of the Temple of Bahamut, that he had at that point not come into contact with agents of Tiamat.
Yeah.
That he was just chosen of Bahamut. But it's without dates and without more. It's hard to know. Hard to know if he was already playing that game or if he had yet to be pulled in. If Bahamut chose him and gave him a mission first, and he determined to go this route with it, or if he determined to go this route first and then took up the title of Champion of Bahamut as a cover.
Mm. I do think also while working on this, Laromendis is, amongst his notes for different sendings, he's specifically calling out things that he wants to make sure that Raiken sees.
Sounds good. So yeah, like I say, I will get you some visual format for that, and I will try to remember to make more of them. And I can see that a good discussion is going on with our Bruenor party, so I'm excited to explore that next time.
Just don't know how they produced so many buses so quickly. Like, we didn't even have the internal combustion engine, and now...
And now you've got so many bones to heal.
After they finished making guns, they turned a lot of rock gnomes.
They're actually
like,
gun-propelled buses.
If we run over his, it's an Orion drive.
It is. It totally is. They're just dropping the explosions behind them.
But like, if we run over Laromendis' hands and feet, we can break half the bones in his body with a single button.
Oh my god. Get out of here, Green. Alright. Given that we're pretty close to time anyway, and I don't have more meaningful material to go through that doesn't deserve more time than I can give it, I think I'll call it there. If people are okay with that. Unless I will give people who have not had as much screen time, Lia and Vendar, a chance to tell me if there's something particular they want to do, a scene to run. We've got 6 minutes.
I'm good. We've basically just been refining purple and poison.
You're starting to resemble Visandrius in there. You're goggled up, and you found some extra clothing in the drawers in there to cover your good clothes, and you're starting to get streaked and burned.
I don't got hair anymore. I don't gotta worry about that.
Oh, that's true. Already looking better than Visandrius in there. He still has half his hair. You've already got rid of all of it.
Yeah, he needs hair.
Not Dragonborn, that's for sure.
I got a nice shiny scaly head.
Alright. Lia, if there's anything in particular you want to do with the Black Rose or anything, I'm open to it.
Nothing that comes to mind right now.
Okay.
I can DM you if I think of something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay then. Yukikaze. That's right. Yukikaze. He might have.
I am fine on my side.
Okay. You're out there leading these exercises as you were the first day. I should probably have you, why don't you, give me some roles, because you're teaching them survival and combat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, give me, 2 survival, 2 strength, like athletics, I guess, and, stealth.
Hold on there, killer.
5 rolls.
5 rolls.
Yup.
Alright, we're doing the 2. The 2 survival, so we'll do those first.
Okay.
Apparently dice are on strike. 13 and 15.
Okay.
And then the strength. Really? That's bullshit. I rolled identical shitty rolls.
Oh.
So it's 13 and 15 again. Or no, wait, sorry. That's strength. Sorry. It's
Athletics you can use if that's a better plus.
the same as my strength.
Okay.
It's that's actually better. It's 20 and 18.
Okay. And then stealth.
Stealth is crap. And I rolled worse. 8 and 10.
Okay. You feel that, no major progress is made, like, not leaps and bounds, but steady. They're retaining and reinforcing their survival training. For strength, for fighting, you do feel like progress is being made. People are improving. You're starting to separate the people who have a bit of a natural talent for fighting from the ones who need some remediation, and that's good because you can separate them into groups to focus on things better, so that's good. Stealth, not your strong suit, but the people, they work hard, they do the best they can. You wish you had Vendar or Lia to help with this. It's a bit sloppy. And that's how things are going, as you and Seltharis and the Simulacra are the ones working with the army, and the entire rest of your actual party is not. Basically just you out there. But you got Seltharis, and she's excited. Oh,
Having a great time?
Yeah, she's having a
Fair,
great
I would have been out there, but I appeared here.
Yeah, but you also made that choice.
Not really. No, I didn't.
I thought you wanted the funny line.
I said a funny line, and that funny line pushed me into existence.
Ah, I see.
These were the consequences of my actions.
Look, here comes a consequence. Okay, with that, I'll end the stream pretty much exactly on time, actually. Thank you all for being here, and, hopefully it's still as fun to listen to other people's foibles as it is to have your own. We'll pick it up next time. I know it's going to get a little choppy as we head into the holiday season, so I think next week's probably still fine. Maybe even the week after if we're lucky. But after that, we'll just have to see how things go. But again, thank you all for being here. Hope you had fun. I know I did.
Tristan,
Yes.
does Bruenor get experience?
Does Bruenor get experience? Yeah, fuck it. Give him 5,000.
All the
That's a
experience
fair
comes to him
question.
now, right?
The party was up to getting 5,000 a session, so Bruenor gets 5,000.
Not quite level 10.
He doesn't even level, damn it.
Next time, though.
Oh yeah.
Once it comes to be like, oh, Laromendis. Technically, Bruenor isn't allowed in the mansion today.
It's true.
I still love it.
Oh, you have a place to hide.
You don't have to look into the face of your old acquaintance. Alright. I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for being here. Have a good night. We'll see you next time on Everybody Loves Raiken. Bye, stream.
Bye-bye.
Bye, stream.